Welcome back to another episode. Today I want to start talking about backing up your website. It's important to back up your website because you just never know what's going to happen. You could have a server crash, you can have your website get hacked, or you might just want to migrate your website to a new server. Maybe you start off with a shared hosting account. Now you want to get more resources and more power behind your website. So that may be the call to action for you to move to like a VPS or a dedicated server, and therefore you're going to need to migrate, which requires you to have a copy of your database and your files from your website. All right, so let's get started. So the plugin that I want to talk about today is BackWP Up. BackWP Up is a backup plugin for WordPress. It is a very popular one. It has a lot of features that are very beneficial. You can see it's active on over 500,000 active installations, and it's well maintained. All right, so let's get started with this plugin. So I'm just going to copy the name. I'm going to go to the dashboard. I'm going to go to plugins and add new. Here in the search plugins, I'm going to paste the BackWP Up and press enter. And then it'll be the first one that you see here. All right, so again, actively maintained. A lot of installations of WordPress have it, and it is very popular. So let's install this plugin. And then you're going to activate the plugin. Once you activate the plugin, you're going to be presented with this page here. You can take a look at it. It's pretty much the welcome page. Save your database regularly. Export your WordPress XML export. Save all your files, security, cloud support. There's a bunch of stuff that it provides straight out the box. And then this is the free version, and they do have a pro version as well. But the free version, provides you a lot of features to get you started. All right, so let's take a look at the first thing we can do. Let's go to the dashboard. The first thing you could do is you can just quickly download a copy of your database. So if you do that, you click on that, it's going to download an SQL file for you for your website. So that's pretty cool. Very easy to do. If you want, you can click on settings over here. And then what I like to do is check the admin bar. So this is going to put a little icon up here for you to quickly get to the dashboard section and to make a database backup. And now you see you have this right here, BackWP Up. You can designate a job, logs, or backups, or if you just click the icon, it'll take you straight back to the dashboard page. So that's pretty good. We can create a job. So what a job is you're going to give it a name. And this is an automation process. When you want to automate the process of backing up your website, so that way you don't have to depend on doing one manually, you can choose to automate the job. All right, so when we scroll down this list, you see some of the options: the database backup, the file backup. You can do a WordPress XML export if you wanted, installed plugins list, check database tables. All right, so I'm going to leave the default settings set for now. The archive format set to zip. We'll leave it like that. And then you can choose a destination. Where should your backup file be stored? You can back up to a folder. You can back up sent via email. You can back up, if you wanted, to FTP, Dropbox, an S3 service, Microsoft Azure, Rackspace, and SugarSync. So you have a lot of good features here to use for the backup destinations. We'll choose the backup to folder for now. And then you have your email address if you want to send the log files. And then errors only, send email with log only when errors occur during job execution. So you can just take a look at all these different options and choose which one makes sense for you. Maybe you want to go into Dropbox, then you would set that up. You would have to authenticate it with Dropbox, or maybe you wanting to go to your S3 service, or depending on the size of it, you may want it to go to your email account. So you can do any of those. We'll click Save. And now you see changes for job with ID number 1, saved, jobs overview, and then run now. So let's see what happens there. Okay, so you can see job with ID number 1, database backup files plugins, folder destination, running for 9 seconds, the date. All right, so you see that it's processing right now as we speak. It's creating the archive, compressing the files, and doing what it needs to do. All right, so it says job completed, job done in 19 seconds. We can display working log, and this shows you a project, the location, the actual website URL, and some of the information that it provides. All right, so now where did this go? I'm going to drag in my systems folder here, and we're going to take a look at it now. So it's inside this new WP, inside the WP contents, uploads, and then you have these 3 folders here: back WP up, backups, logs, and temps. So let's take a look at backups, and then it would be this archive right here. So you can extract all, and then the location destination. So to start the process of unzipping the zip file, since we set it to be saved to the folder. Once it's done extracting, you can click on it and you see you have all your files there. All right, so what I recommend you do at this point is you take this folder, you copy it, and then we're going to go back up to our htdocs folder, and I'm just going to paste it right there. So now this is a copy of our new WP. The files will match. You have your WP admin, WP content, WP includes, and the rest of the files there. You look into your themes. We have our themes set properly the way they should. And we have all of our plugins the way they should. So the backup succeeded in doing what it's supposed to do. All right, so now let me just remove this from the screen. All right, so now we created a job where it's going to run. We got to set it to run automatically. So we created the job itself. So now we can go and edit it. And then we can schedule the job. So do you want to do it manually like we just did? Do you want to set up with WordPress cron or with a link? Or do you want to start a job with the command line interface? So we're going to stay with WordPress cron. So here you can schedule, the schedule type is either basic or advanced, and you can designate when you want the backup to take place. If you want it to be done daily, you can set the time. If you want it to be done weekly, monthly, or even hourly. Now, which option should you choose? Well, if you're a daily blogger, then you might as well pick the daily backup, because that way you won't lose any of your vital information in case anything happens. But if you only blog once a week, then choose the weekly. And again, if you blog monthly, then choose monthly. Hourly is really good if you have, multiple blog posts taking place on a daily basis, potentially from multiple authors, adding content to your site. In that case, you might want to choose hourly, and you can designate when that happens. But for now, we're just going to choose basic, and we can choose weekly or daily. If you want to try the advanced, this gives you a little bit more options to choose from. You can take a look at these to make sure it makes sense for you. And then once you're done, you could just save changes. Let's look at the other options. The database backup. So this shows you what tables it's going to back up. And then you can name the backup file name and the backup file compression. So we can choose here, if you want to save changes, you can choose gzip. For the files, this shows you if you want to exclude anything from the file backup, you can. This gives you a list of options that you currently have installed on your plugins. You can choose plugin list file name, file compression. If you want to compress those, you can do that here. And then again, the to folder, you can choose the folders to store backups in. This is the location of where it's going to be. That's where I showed you in terms of the file structure, the location of where you can find your backups. And then file deletion, number of files to keep in folder. Depending on how much storage space you have on your server, you may want to configure this to meet your needs. If you make any changes, just of course save changes. And that's pretty much it. You could take a look at the jobs overview. You can run a job now manually, or again, you could just choose to download the database backup. So we did it once. Let's do it again. And now we have a second database backup. Okay, let's look at the backups. You can see that we currently have one backup. You can delete that if you so choose. You can look at your current jobs. We have one job set. We can edit it, and then you can change the location if you want to send it to another location, or you could even add a new job. So the good thing about this plugin is you can have a redundant backup system set up. So you can have one going to your local server folder. You can have another one being sent to your email, and a third one being sent to your Dropbox account if you wanted. So you can have multiple jobs set up, and you can even have it set up at different times, and you can have named them daily backup, weekly backup, and monthly backup. So it has a lot of good features, to check out. I definitely recommend this plugin. It's very well received. It has a lot of good features set out the box, and even in the free version, the feature set is really good. Now we should see how it's going to work if we need to restore from a backup. So let's take a look at that. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate what happens when your database gets corrupted, or you need to just, re-upload a new version of your database. So what I'm going to do is, I have my website here already up. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to paste in right here. Go to Tools, PHPMyAdmin, and I'm going to demonstrate how you would go about. I'm going to drop this table this whole entire database right here. So I'm going to go to Operations, drop database. Okay. All right, so now that database no longer exists. Let me go to refresh this here. Error establishing a database connection. All right, so now what happens is we no longer have a database for our website, right? So we need to upload a new version or a backed up version of our database. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to create that database again. Now I'm going to import, choose the file. I have it set up. Going to click on Go. Successful. All right, so we had a database error. Let's refresh that. We're back in business. All right, so our website comes back on just as it should. Everything's in the proper settings. Why? Because we had a backup of our database. So now, if you ever run into that situation where your database gets corrupted, or you need to, upload a fresh copy of a backup of your database, now you know how to do that. Very simple to do with this plugin. All right, so you just have to log into your dashboard again, and now you see everything set up as it should have been. All right, so now let's look at what happens if we delete our files. What I'll do is I'm going to drag that back in, go back to our htdocs folder, and this is our website right here. And I'm going to delete it. Once that's done, it's no longer there. So now let's go back to the front end of our site. Let's see what happens. Not found. The requested URL, new WP, was not found on this server. All right, because we no longer have those files set up. All right, so now what I can do, go here, copy, new folder, and then just paste. So this is simulating what you would be doing on a live production server. If you are migrating your website or need to restore your website and you don't have your files, or if you deleted your files from your server, you would just use SFTP to re-upload those files to your server, and in your control panel of your web host, go to your database section and upload the SQL file for your database. All right, so now we have that set up. Now let's see what happens when we go back to our URL. And we're back in business. All right, so we just demonstrated how you can use back WP up to take a backup of your database, to take a backup of your files, and save them either in your server, where then you would just SFTP it down to your local computer, or you can also set up jobs to have it go to Dropbox, have it go to an S3 account, or have it go to your email account. It has a lot of great options, and it's really feature rich for a free plugin on the WordPress repository. So definitely check it out. Backups are extremely important. You never want to run into a situation where you don't have access to a clean backup. All right, so Back WP Up is a great plugin. I just demonstrated how you can easily download a copy of the database, download a copy of your folders and file structure of your website with all the assets, and how easy it is to reinstall your files and folders, and also re-upload your database to your server. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to be giving you more tips and tricks on how to manage your WordPress powered website. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. All right, take care.